Remember the beans that survived the heat wave? Well, it's time to transplant them. They have been living in a cup and they need more room because their roots cannot grow outside of that plastic cup. So I'm going to take them out of the plastic cups and get to moving them into the soil where they belong. So we had 9 beans total that survived, and 4 of them were pole beans. And because of that, I have to put them in a place where they can grab onto a trellis or a fence in order to climb up into the sky. And so that's exactly where they're at right now. There's a trellis right above where they are growing. And notice that I'm labeling them too, because again, it's very easy to get mixed up with so many plants, and it's hard to tell them apart. And those are 2 rattlesnake plants on the left, and then we're putting in 2 willow leaf beans to the right of them, and they're going to be right next to each other. And with some luck, they will grow up the trellis. Now, this is a tall order at this time of year, meaning it's going to be really hard for these bean plants to do it because we're starting at the wrong time of year. It is September, and the beans are going to need some time to grow. And well, we don't know if September is early enough for them to produce any beans. We will find out. But if you look above where these beans are, they have a long way to go. Imagine you're that little bean plant looking up at that big high trellis and thinking, oh, that's hard. Well, we will let them do their thing and see how high they will grow under these conditions in September. There were also 5 bush beans that survived the heat wave, and I decided to put those inside of a bucket. So there's a big bucket full of soil right there, and I'm taking out the bean plants that are bush beans, so they don't need a trellis. They're not going to grow vines. They're going to grow up and stop. But look here. I ran into a big problem. I was trying to get this plant out, and it was just so weak, and it just snapped in my fingers like that. I barely pulled it, and it broke. And yes, that's what happens. That's why it's good to have more than one plant, because, well, they don't all survive. So we are now down to only 4 bush beans, and they're all going to go into this pot. Unfortunately, that golden wax bean did not survive the transplant. But these 4 are making it so far, and I'm topping off the bucket with soil so that they can stand up straight. And arranging it, you need to pack the soil down a little bit so it's stable, and of course add water to make them grow. And the transplant is complete on both. We have 4 bush beans growing in a bucket, and in the bucket I can move it around if it's too sunny or too shady. And then we have the other 4 beans, the rattlesnake beans and the willow leaf beans that are growing under the trellis.